Backlines here, looking to see if he can catch out Stormstormer. Another one of these wards goes in. He still has BKB though.
Global Silence will cover him at the moment. BKB activated by KP, and Stormstormer gets off his own BKB. Lasso back into the waiting hands of Pure, who just right-clicks him down. Oswald on the high ground of the fight. Hyde drops down the tombstone to try and buy time, but unfortunately that time will quickly end. As they kill him, they take down the tombstone.
People put a lot of praise onto this entity roster. Oh, 23 Savage.
Oh no, 23 Savage. He BKBs though, but they don't care about the BKB because Pure has a double damage rune. Just right-clicks right through 23 Savage. They also get the catch out onto Q. He's been brought back into an awkward position. One more right-click from Pure will finish him off. That is a...
Getting punished for when they're off cooldown as well. I think that's the biggest thing here for Entity. Gonna try and fight without Global though.
They're trying to steal this Roshan. Big flaming...
So much damage.
Yeah, right. Almost dead right now. They actually need to do something very quickly. They get the jump onto Fishman. That is the best possible target, and he doesn't have buyback. So he can't immediately come back into the fray. Stormstormer, will he try and go for the steal here? Indeed he does, but he doesn't get it. BKB active though as Kataomi gets himself hooked out of the Roshan pit. He's already been brought down with the right clicks on Makoto. Stormstormer, as his BKB ends, they're running onto him, but Pure Requiems onto the high ground. Fears 3 heroes and ends up blowing up KP. So although they end up losing the Aegis, nonetheless, Entity gets something out of that fray. We've seen most of the time that the build has been refresher, basically, right? Just to try and make sure that you have as much silence as possible. We'll talk about it in a moment. The Stormstormer has found a target, dragging KP back, will find himself probably dead here, tries to TP out. What? Alright.
Max really abused Blink Hex in these games, just because if you can outplay a BKB, then it just means you get the insta-kill, and we've seen how important it is just getting one kill in these fights are.
Speaking of insta-kills, they try to jump onto KP, but they're going to go back onto Stormstormer. Global Silence does get popped for the fight, but look at the damage coming in from Makoto. Pure, unable to stand his ground, has to back off, as this Daedalus is a little bit too strong, as their BKBs have now expired for Entity, and they have no more Global. They need to be very careful. Stolen Purification, as they bring down Q in the river. It's now 4 versus 5. Entity looking like they're thinking about chasing, but it's kind of difficult without the lasso being available. Pure just going to post on the high ground. And I think this little skirmish is going to be over here, Fluke. One hero dead in the Undying, but that's about it.
Plays, right? Like, do you try and go in and preempt a a global silence by having the Lotus Orb at the ready, or do you try and preempt it with like the BKB and all this kind of stuff? And man, these team fights, they're going to be won or lost by very minute details, I think it is now.
Ooh, big detail here is going to be the massive lasso drag out onto the Undying without buyback, especially. 44 seconds, and they didn't have to commit the global for that one as well. But Talon, this time around, they smoke up instantly. They're not going to give away the advantage around the Roshan pit. Pure has shown middle, but as you've mentioned, he has the backup of both Fishman and Toby, so jumping him first, pretty much a no-go. Going for this regen rune
could potentially be what they need here. There's a lot of BKBs though on Entity, so maybe not. Oh, the vision game is so strong.
Kataomi! 2 heroes caught inside the avalanche. He will end up dying to the right-click damage, but unfortunately for the side of Entity, they've already lost one. Toby popped the Global Silence already, so it's down. Pure coming in onto KP. Flame Break pushes him back as he rebounds away as well. Stormstormer can't catch him, and the Soul Rip will keep him alive. Makoto, they popped his Linkens, but he does still have the BKB if he wants to turn around with this. Entity can't find more. It's 1-1 on both sides, but both of those heroes have brought back. And now Talon, they feel like they have the positioning in the pit. They've got this tombstone on the high ground for another few seconds. They've destroyed the vision here. And now, in the window without Global Silence, they feel a little bit stronger. And they want to try and go into the pit, but it's still so scary. They haven't popped the Requiem just yet from Entity. And with these BKBs having such low duration, you don't want to take the risk of popping them too early and then Pure just comes in to clean up house. So Kataomi found the initiation. They get one kill, they kill him, they both buy back, and the status quo immediately reset. We are going nowhere. We're chilling, man.
Yeah. You can just see how tentative each one of these fights are, how important it is to have vision on the high ground, how important it is to be able to fight around some of these big cooldowns and these big spells. I think Talon did a really good job at not forcing Makoto to BKB. He kind of just stood there and just auto-attacked. So he now has his BKB still at the ready. It's a 6-second duration as well. 23 Savage is turning into a bit of a menace. They're just going to drop the tombstone and say, come fight us here, Entity. Oh no, they got Hyde.
Another lasso drag onto this Undying. He buys back into this one. Kataomi won't be able to find the jump just yet. Toby did drop the Global Silence. The Tiny looking for a way in as the BKB was popped on the Pudge. But at the same time, BKB was also utilized on the Batrider. So 1 for 1. Makoto still has access to his. Pops it now. And there's Kataomi getting demolished by this turret leader.
Oh, they're on the
and
Shadow
23
Fiend.
Savage can now jump onto Pure, finding the Dismember. But Shadow Fiend activates the Satanic. He starts right-clicking back to health. He's gonna be all right. They have killed
Makoto.
Toby though. And now Fishman getting himself dragged back into the fray. Dying to the right clicks of Makoto, who's already found himself a triple kill. And although Pure feels very strong, there's only so much he can do by himself. Toby goes in to try and delay this Roshan siege. They're going to be able to at least kill the Roche. Hyde does die to the right click damage of Pure, but Pure needs to watch himself. Hook back in.
Yes,
It's
the
23
Aegis.
Savage, but 23 has the Aegis. He'll die, but he'll happily sacrifice himself if it means taking Pure down with him. As Stormstormer gets jumped onto by 23 Savage. With the refresh on the Dismember, it's enough to grab the kill on the Batrider. And the NZT have been broken around the Roshan pit. Talon Esports finally getting the advantage through this mid lane. We've all had games where you deal less than 15k damage in total, let alone in a solitary team fight. Makoto has protection on the high ground. The Lincoln Sphere prevents the lasso. And now they brought down the Batrider. Stormstormer does have buyback. Pure, will he find the Requiem? Indeed he does. Feels back KP, but can't kill him. 23 Savage trying to track down Pure. Has access to the Dismember in a couple of seconds. Will they be able to eat him? Kataomi has tossed back Hyde, but that's not one of the primary targets. Silence has been out. Fishman is dead. And Q jumps forward, drags back Pure. Pure gets eaten alive with his own Requiem as it gets stolen away by this Rubik. He dies. He's gone. And that's going to be another lane of racks taken as well by Talon Esports. This game is feeling like it's about to end here, Fluke. Entity were balanced on the knife edge for so long, but Talon happened to push them off a cliff near the Roshan pit, and now they're going to push them out of this game. Stormstormer getting the lasso, dragging back the Pudge. They've already killed Toby, who is dead without buyback right now. Tossed back from Kataomi into the fountain, but 23 Savage keeps himself alive. There is going to be the right-click damage from Makoto. They're not actually going to go for it, because GG has already been called. Entity throw in the tower. They realize that Talon are too strong. And the only third win of this Lina pick in the entire damn tournament. Talon Esports make it happen. They grab game one. They keep TI hopes alive. But more importantly, they make sure that tiebreakers are all the more likely.
Oh my god, what a game from Talon. The way that they played that Roshan fight was insane. Entity played extremely well as well. I don't want to take anything away from these guys. I think their draft was definitely something that I wouldn't subscribe to, but the way they played it was perfect.